Numbers chapter 16. And Korah, son of Izhar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, takes both Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, sons of Reuben. And they rise up before Moses with men of the sons of Israel, 250 princes of the congregation, called of the convention, men of renown. And they are assembled against Moses and against Aaron. And they say to them, Enough of you, for all the congregation, all of them are holy, and Yahweh is in their midst. And why do you lift yourselves up above the assembly of Yahweh? And Moses hears and falls on his face, and he speaks to Korah and to all his congregation, saying, Indeed, in the morning Yahweh may cause you to know those who are his, and him who is holy, and has brought him near to him. Even him who he fixes on, he brings near to him. Do this. Take censers for yourselves, Korah and all his company, and put fire in them, and put incense on them before Yahweh tomorrow. And it has been, the man whom Yahweh chooses, he is the Holy One. Enough of you, sons of Levi. And Moses says to Korah, Now hear, sons of Levi. Is it little to you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do service of the dwelling place of Yahweh, and to stand before the congregation to serve them? Indeed, he brings you near, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you, and you have also sought the priesthood. Therefore you and all your congregation are meeting against Yahweh. And Aaron, what is he that you murmur against him? And Moses sends to call for Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and they say, We do not come up. Is it little that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to put us to death in a wilderness, that you also certainly make yourself prince over us? Indeed, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor do you give an inheritance of field and vineyard to us. Do you pick out the eyes of these men? We do not come up. And it is very displeasing to Moses, and he says to Yahweh, Do not turn to their present. I have not taken one donkey from them, nor have I afflicted one of them. And Moses says to Korah, You and all your congregation, be present before Yahweh, you and they and Aaron, tomorrow. And let each take his censer, and you have put incense on them, and each has brought his censer near before Yahweh, 250 censers, indeed, you and Aaron, each with his censer. And they take each his censer, and put fire on them, and lay incense on them, and they stand at the opening of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. And Korah assembles all the congregation against them at the opening of the tent of meeting, and the glory of Yahweh is seen by all the congregation. And Yahweh speaks to Moses and Aaron, saying, Be separated from the midst of this congregation, and I consume them in a moment. And they fall on their faces and say, God, God of the spirits of all flesh, one man sins, and are you angry against the whole congregation? And Yahweh speaks to Moses, saying, Speak to the congregation, saying, Go up from around the dwelling place of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rises and goes to Dathan and Abiram, and the elderly of Israel go after him. And he speaks to the congregation, saying, Now turn aside from the tents of these wicked men, and do not come against anything that they have, lest you are consumed in all their sins. And they go up from the dwelling place of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, from all around. And Dathan and Abiram have come out, standing at the door of their tents, with their wives and their sons and their infants. And Moses says, By this you know that Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, that they are not from mine own heart. If these die according to the death of all men, or the charge of all men is charged on them, Yahweh has not sent me. But if Yahweh does a strange thing, and the ground has opened her mouth and swallowed them and all that they have, and they have gone down alive to Sheol, then you have known that these men have despised Yahweh. And it comes to pass, at his finishing speaking all these words, that the ground which is under them cleaves, and the earth opens her mouth, and swallows them and their houses, and all the men who are for Korah, and all the goods. And they go down, they and all that they have, alive to Sheol. And the earth closes over them, and they perish from the midst of the assembly. And all Israel who are around them have fled at their voice, for they said, Lest the earth swallow us. And fire has come out from Yahweh, and consumes the 250 men, bringing the incense near. And Yahweh speaks to Moses, saying, Say to Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, to lift up the censers from the midst of the burning, and scatter the fire away, for they have been hallowed. As for the censers of these sinners against their own souls, indeed, they have made them into spread out plates for a covering for the altar, for they have brought them near before Yahweh, and they are hallowed, and they become a sign to the sons of Israel. And Eleazar the priest takes the bronze censers which they who burned had brought near, and they spread them out for a covering for the altar, a memorial to the sons of Israel, so that a stranger who is not of the seed of Aaron does not draw near to make incense before Yahweh, and is not as Korah and as his congregation, as Yahweh has spoken by the hand of Moses to him. And on the next day all the congregation of the sons of Israel murmurs against Moses and against Aaron, saying, You have put the people of Yahweh to death. And it comes to pass, in the congregation being assembled against Moses and against Aaron, that they turn toward the tent of meeting, and behold, the cloud has covered it, and the glory of Yahweh is seen. And Moses comes, Aaron also, to the front of the tent of meeting, and Yahweh speaks to Moses, saying, Get up from the midst of this congregation, and I consume them in a moment. And they fall on their faces. And Moses says to Aaron, Take the censer, and put fire on it from the altar, and place incense, and go quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them. For the wrath has gone out from the presence of Yahweh, the plague has begun. And Aaron takes it as Moses has spoken, and runs to the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague has begun among the people. And he gives incense, and makes atonement for the people, and stands between the dead and the living, and the plague is restrained. And those who die by the plague are 14,700, apart from those who die for the matter of Korah. And Aaron turns back to Moses, to the opening of the tent of meeting, and the plague has been restrained.